The book of Psalms, chapter 7, verse 12. If a in the NLT, if a person does not repent, God Yahweh will sharpen his sword. He will bend and string his bow. He will prepare his deadly weapons and shoot his flaming arrows. The wicked conceive evil. They are pregnant with trouble and give birth to lies. They dig a deep pit to trap others, then fall into it themselves. The trouble they make for others backfires on them. The violence they plan falls on their own heads. I will thank the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai because he is just. I will sing praise to the name of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, the Most High. All praises to Yahweh by Hashem Habashai, Bahara Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect, just seeking to be the elect of the nation of Israel. They're scattered abroad amongst the heathen, some looking like the heathen. Beginning with the 144,000 preachers, teachers, and prophets. Shalom. And you got quite a lot going on today. All right, this is not a laid back Sunday, though it feel good. you know, a chill day. Well, Yahweh Shema Shai is nothing chilling. Prophecy going on. All right. Now we all know how America go around bombing and destroying other countries, and we see what's going on between with the team of America and Israel attacking Iran. While Iran doing that deal to both of them. All right. To the U.S. troops over there, knocking out the radar system. And Iran just destroyed Israel's biggest refinery. And this the last energy gateway from Israel. It says last energy gateway from Israel incinerated. All right. Now, this is the same video right here. As you see, Iran destroys Haifa refinery, Israel's last energy gateway gone. The title of the video, Netanyahu freaks out after Iran destroyed Haifa refinery. Hezbollah surprised Israel. This 3 hours ago. This is by open-minded reporter YT. Now, Iran got hit too. You think they panicking? Remember, the Trump administration said, "Hey, if they want the, they said take out the Iranian leaders, start attacking them, and their economy gonna go into chaos, and they're gonna want a regime change, and that's how they gonna give in." Man, they over there chilling. They ain't worried about it. All right, they stocked up, they prepared, and all of that. While they panicking over there in Israel, and what you think coming here to America, man? That's why you have about Shema Shabbat read that Psalm 7. And let's go back to it. I'm going to read it in the KJV this time. Psalms chapter 7 and 13, KJV. He has also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordained his arrows against the persecutors. Behold, he travaileth with iniquity, and has conceived mischief, and brought forth falsehood. He made a pit, and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made. His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down on his own pate. You see? It says, I will praise the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai according to his righteousness, and will sing praise to the name of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai the Most High. And that's what the elect gonna do. Alright? But you see, Esau is causing all this trouble, this calamity, this mischief to the other nations. Well, we're talking about Iran right here. But hey, you see, hey, it's going to return upon his own head. In other words, it's going to return upon Babylon. So you trying to wipe out their power supply, their oil supply, and they over there chilling like everything normal, shopping, they buying and selling like everything normal. They ain't worried about America and rising up against their government and forcing a regime change. But what you think gonna happen here? You see, what do you think is going to happen here? And let's get Second Esdras chapter 15 real quick. Excuse me. What you think will happen here? Second Esdras chapter 15 and verse 11. It says, let's start at 7. Therefore saith the Lord Yahweh Shemashah, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And therefore said the Lord Yahweh Shemashah, I will surely avenge them, and receive unto me all the innocent and righteous, all the innocent blood from among them. So Yahweh Shemashah is doing this for the elect, is avenging the elect on America. This is what's going on, prophecy. That's why these things are playing out. Behold, my people, the elected, the nation of Israel, beginning with the elect, is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, America. For I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt, America, with plagues as before, and will destroy the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that God Yahweh shall bring upon it. And that's the judgment of Yahweh Shemashah. So just like how the Lord plagued Egypt, at first, he's doing Babylon, America, the same way. All right? Just how you trying to destroy the oil facility and the economy and having people uprise against the government to request a regime change because they struggling. It ain't working, man. But it's going to work over here. It's going to happen over here. All right? It's going to happen over here. And these people over here in America, everyone's going to freak out. All right? Everyone's going to freak out. I pray how about Shemashah keep the spirit on me to stay strong. But everyone's going to freak out. The hopeful elect that's seeking to be the elected nation of Israel are going to be comforted. Hey, look, man. Hey, we long for this, man. All right? It got to happen. Listen, hey, we got to go through it to get to the kingdom, to inherit everlasting life. To see how when Yahweh Shai, you get the new bodies to inherit the blessings, the gifts, the covenants, and the promises, man. To rule the earth, man. All right? To have the curses removed up off of us and start receiving the blessing. We got to go through it. All right? It says, hey, again, and the same thing happened to ancient Egypt. All right? The breaking down of the economy. All of that. Okay? With the 10 plagues. It says, they that till the ground shall mourn, their seed shall fail through the blast and the hail and the fearful consolation. It is going in the famine. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword of their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, invading one another, that shall not regard the kings of princes, and of course they actually stand in their power. Hey, just how America, the Trump administration, and Israel expect Iran citizens to rise up against them, they're not doing it. But they're going to rise up against y'all over here in America. You see? Hey, you already, instead of trying to cover up the Epstein file, the truth steady coming out, people can rise up. Everything has come to a head. Okay? People are holding in so much. Hey, you taking people tax dollars and blowing it. You stealing it. You getting it to Ukraine and Israel. You're doing everything with it except for getting it back to the people. You're talking about you save billions of dollars in tariffs. You're talking about you were going to cut $2,000 checks and people somebody waiting on it right crazy. and you done took back your word, said, well, I never said I was going to actually do it. People burnt out, tired, you stripped them of jobs. People receiving Medicaid and benefits, SNAP. So you see, hey, what you expect to do to these other, to Iran, it's going to be done to you over here in America. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the house shall be destroyed, men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy the house with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and great tribulation. You see? And look, the economy, hey, this joint gonna shut down, man. This joint gonna shut down, the lights gonna go out, all of that. Okay? They're gonna have to ration over here. Alright? And hey, the people over here in America are not used to anything, man. They used to eating 4, 5, 6 meals a day, snacks in between, and partying, and going to the store, getting, just convenience. Being able to get gas and turn the lights on whenever they want to, or a storm or something happening, or they'll be out there the next day. And no, man, when this hell hit the shores of Babylon, all right, by Iran, China, North Korea, Russia, whoever, hell, and don't think Esau not gonna have his hands in it, and he blaming on them, but it's actually him doing it. Actually, Esau doing it, so he could get y'all to take this mark of the beast, because that's what's next. That's what's coming. All right. Remember, they got to move quick. They not stopping back east, man. Trump said, hey, he ain't selling for nothing unless they surrender, unconditional surrender. Meaning, hey, they surrender with no promise, no rules, no nothing. Just give in. You see? And Iran said they ain't giving in for nothing. You can take that to the grave. You done did all this damage. You think they gonna surrender? Nah. That's saying Hezbollah getting in it. And Russia's already providing Iran with intelligence concerning where the U.S. forces are. You see? Then it said, look, U.S. military death toll rises as Iran conflict escalates. And we know that. They giving y'all false numbers. Name number 6. Get the hell out of here. All that bombing going on. Ain't up but 6. So what they invincible or something? What are they, super soldiers? Well, they got 3 or 4 lives? They got the cheat code on? Get out of here. Seriously. I want to see if they gonna put in there how many. Nah, they ain't saying how many people died. But yeah. Hezbollah getting involved. Where is it? Excuse me. Let me see. It might be. I just saw it. Well, I gotta close some of this. There's too much going on. Too much going on. Hold on, y'all. Too much going on.
And what did he find?
Let's hold that because we're gonna play that whole video. Damn, I just saw it. Maybe it's in Smart News. But I just saw it. Hezbollah getting involved. Let's see. Damn, man. I don't know where it is. I just saw it. Let me check my other phone real quick. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. I'm looking for it. I can't find it, man. Damn. I wonder if it's an Opera News. Anyway, I can't find it, man. But yeah, this is a Hezbollah getting involved. Anyway, so hey, it's a lot going down, man. All right, it's a lot going down. All right, but we can play that video. But before we get it, let's hit these real quick. But hey, we just read, hey, all this chaos can hit here in America, man. Let's get one more, cause hey, the economy gonna stop. You know, everything gonna shut down. Things not gonna be functional, operational, and the power gonna go out, and people gonna freak out. Hey, as we just read in 2 Edicts 15, but let's get it right here in 2 Edicts 6 and 22. And suddenly shall the sown place appear in the sown, the full storehouse shall suddenly be found empty. That's your stores and the banks. Alright? Because your storehouse represents your saving accounts too. Cyber tax. So all this stuff gonna get cut off. Food supply. Stores will be empty. Right? And the trumpet shall give a sound which whenever men hear it, they shall suddenly be afraid. And at that time shall friends fight against one another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear. But those that dwell therein, the springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. So you see, hey, the power gonna go out, the economy gonna stop. It's gonna be all hell, man. It's gonna be chaotic. And remember, this is what you wanted to do to Iran, but it's gonna happen to America. And these people gonna panic. All right, now let's read the headlines real quick, then we'll play the video. So hey, anything can go down at any given time. You got people throwing devices right here at the cops. Say they expected to be a bomb. He tried to take off. Come on, man, come on. It says 18 hours ago, device hurled near New York City mayor's mansion was an IED that could have caused serious injury or death. New York Police Department says. So you got all manner of chaos going on. Says a device ignited outside Gracie Mansion, the New York City's mayor's residence, during a clash between opposing protest groups Saturday was an improvised explosive capable of causing serious injury or death, the NYPD said Sunday. The NYPD bomb squad has conducted a preliminary analysis of a device that was ignited and deployed at a protest yesterday and has determined that it is not a hoax device or a smoke bomb. Commissioner Jessica S. Chisk said in a post on X, it is in fact an improvised explosive device that could have caused serious injury or death. 2 men arrested in connection with the device admitted to being inspired by is. Y'all know what that is. Multiple law enforcement sources told CNN, you see? So, like I said, Esau got his hands in it, you know? But the point being, they could easily blame it on Iran, China, Russia, North Korea. All right? Most definitely since this war going on, hey, they hiding the fact that threats are being made to America, and they're not telling the American citizens. You see? So regardless of how they spin it, the narrative is going to be that it's so chaotic. It's chaos, right? And all this stuff is going to hit here in America. Okay? Remember, the goal is to have people in so much panic and cause a lot of death and sicknesses and illnesses. All right? Because all this chaos, most definitely, when they can't get the food, yo, man, this will be crazy. All right? And people going to want out, man. People going to want that MOTB. All right? People going to want that MOTB. And this ultimately what Esau was trying to do globally. All right? But we know that our temptation is going to come upon the whole world to try them which dwelleth upon the earth, primarily over here in America. All right? So all this is part of the plan. All this is part of prophecy. Let me see. Here it is. It says Trump has privately shown serious interest. Trump has privately shown serious interest in deploying U.S. ground troops to Iran, report claims. Now, think about this. If they're now talking about deploying ground troops to Iran, they're going to die. Iran handing out ass whoopings, man. They getting hit too. But America painting this picture like, yo, it's so easy and calm. They dominate. No, you not, man. You gonna send them troops. We did a video last night. They already got troops on the ground going in. All right, but them troops gonna be dying. All right, and what you think coming? You think they just got an unlimited supply of U.S. troops? They're just gonna keep responding like it's a damn game? No, man. Well, hey, the only way they're gonna respond is by drafting your ass. Hey, that draft coming, man. Y'all better get ready. Because that draft coming. These troops, U.S. troops, can be down over there, man. They sending boots on the ground, too. Shit, that draft coming. You ain't got to believe it. Your ass gonna get drafted. They might try to get me. Shit, it is what it is. How about Shamal Shai got me? Hey, you got right here. Where is it? Excuse me. Sinus, boy. Real quick. It says, same thing. Warning sign that U.S. troops could be headed for Mid-Eastern deployment. Let me see. It was another one I had. Yeah, this was what I was talking about earlier. Trump goons ordered to hide major threat from Americans. Right, talking about these attacks. We hit these yesterday. Let me see. Yeah, we hit these joints right here yesterday. Qatar, this 2 days ago, Qatar warns war will force Gulf to stop energy exports within days. Man, U.S. military death toll rises as Iran conflict escalates. Trump says he won't sign another bill or sign other bills until Congress passes Save America Act. And look, hey, we also know that Esau wants all power. So these things, hey, when all this hell hit him in America, he's going to enact martial law, man. And y'all already know what that do. He can have that power. Excuse me, he can shut things down, control everything, internet, all of that. Just these 3 states are facing a major water crisis. You already know it's out there on the West Coast. But you know, with these data centers, this can suck up a lot of water, man. All right. Arizona. California. And Texas. Let me see. Police in Norway investigates an explosion outside the U.S. Embassy in Oslo. I think that's it, y'all. Look, this nuclear bomb leaves cities standing but kills everyone inside. That sounds like biological warfare. Let me see. Trump wants Iranian leadership that will not threaten Americans. Get out of here, man. And that's it, man. That's it. China warns flames of war spreading and calls on U.S. to help manage differences ahead of the Trump meeting. Well, let's play this video. Remember, when America is trying to get done to these other nations, it's coming to America. We just read the prophecies, man. All right? So let's play this video from the beginning.
And what did he find?
See, because American media like to paint like they doing their deal well. Netanyahu freaking out. Freaks out after Iran destroyed Haifa refinery. Hezbollah surprised Israel. Yeah, that's what it was. Why the hell about Shemosha? I'm going to let this ride. Alright? I'm going to let this ride.
We have scenes of absolute devastation that are emerging from the occupied territories. Scenes that military analysts are already calling a strategic turning point in this war. In a meticulously planned and brutally effective retaliation, the Islamic Revolution Guards Corps, IRGC, has confirmed that it launched a barrage of Khyber Shakan solid-fuel ballistic missiles directly at Israel's largest and most critical oil refinery in Haifa.
Iran has reportedly targeted Israel's Haifa oil refinery with ballistic missiles.
Oil refinery in Haifa using advanced Khyber Shakan solid fuel ballistic missiles. The IRGC described the attack as direct revenge for Israeli and US strikes that targeted the oil depots and infrastructure around Tehran.
Let me be absolutely clear about the scale of what we are looking at. This wasn't just a symbolic strike. This was an obliteration. Iranian media, citing military sources, are reporting that the refinery complex, known as the Bazin Group facility in the Haifa Bay area, was totally destroyed. The power plant adjacent to it, which feeds energy to the surrounding occupied cities, was also taken completely offline. We are getting reports of a massive fireball consuming the sky over Haifa, turning night into day, and sending a column of smoke so thick it can likely be seen from space. This is the direct, thunderous response to the overnight aggression by the US and Israel, who launched waves of warplanes to strike oil depots in southern Tehran and Alborz, igniting huge explosions in the heart of the Iranian capital. But where the US and Israel poked, Iran punched back with a sledgehammer. To understand why this particular strike is sending shockwaves through Tel Aviv's war rooms, you have to understand exactly what was burning in Haifa last night. We aren't just talking about a gas station. We are talking about the jugular vein of the occupation's economy. The Haifa refinery processes roughly 200,000 barrels per day and is responsible for supplying between 50 to 60% of Israel's domestic fuel needs. This is the facility that powers their military vehicles, fuels their electricity grids, and keeps their economy from collapsing under the weight of war. By taking this out, Iran hasn't just caused a temporary blackout. They have effectively shut down the last major energy gateway for the occupation. Think about the logistics for a second. This refinery sits at the intersection of pipelines and shipping routes that are essential for bringing crude oil into Israel. With this facility gone in a blaze of fire, the occupation entity is now facing an existential energy crisis. And here's the poetic justice that history won't ignore. This refinery has a dark, colonial history, UN. Archives show that this very plant, originally owned by Anglo-Iranian, now BP, and Shell, was built to refine oil pumped from Iraq and, crucially, from Iran. Before 1948, it fed off crude oil from the Persian Gulf. So, Iran just sent a message to that refinery tonight. If you are going to use Iranian resources to build your military might, we will take that might away from you. They have shut down the last gateway because that gateway was built on stolen resources to begin with. Before we go deeper into how the regime in Tel Aviv is reeling from this, and before we discuss the war crimes the so-called civilized world is now committing out of pure desperation, I need you to hit that like button. I need you to share this video far and wide. Why? Because the mainstream media in the West is already spinning this, trying to hide the scale of the Israeli defeat and the desperation of American foreign policy. They won't show you the fires burning in Haifa the way we just did. They won't tell you that Iran's missiles are piercing through the much-hyped Iron Dome like it's tissue paper. If you believe in honest journalism, if you want the truth about this war that the Pentagon and the White House don't want you to see, hit the subscribe button and drop a comment just for the algorithm right now. Join this channel as a member, or just hit the bell icon, because we are the only ones connecting the dots while the rest of them are reading from the same failed script. Now, let's talk about the context of this strike, because the timing is absolutely fascinating, and it exposes the psychological warfare that the Trump administration and Netanyahu are losing. Why did Israel hit Iranian oil depots in the first place? It wasn't a military target in the traditional sense. Sure, they dress it up as hitting military infrastructure, but these depots are in sprawling urban areas, near schools and hospitals. They hit them for one reason and one reason only, to starve the Iranian people into submission. They want to create long lines at gas stations. They want the lights to go out. They want to sow panic so that people take to the streets. But here is the problem with that plan. It's not working. And the proof is so embarrassing for the Trump administration that they are now attacking journalists for reporting it. Just days ago, CNN's Frederick Pleitgen filed a report from inside Tehran. And what did he find? He found a society that is refusing to break. He went for a coffee, he walked around, and he reported that despite the bombs, despite the threat of strikes, all the shops are open and really well stocked. There were no long lines for fuel and there was no panic. The people of Iran are resilient, and they see this aggression for what it is. A foreign entity trying to make them suffer to achieve political goals.
Taking a quick break for a coffee along the way. We've been driving for several hours. There's a couple of things that we've noticed. Number one is that, first of all the shops are open. All the shops are really well stocked, even with fresh things, like, for instance, fruits and vegetables. Coffee, obviously, also available as well. And then also the gas stations. There's no long lines as gas stations. Fuel seems readily available, and you just don't see any sort of degree of panic anywhere.
And this brings us to the most dangerous, unhinged rhetoric we have seen.
You think it's gonna be calm like that when that stuff hit here? No, we read the scripts. It's gonna be total pandemonium. Straight up mayhem.
So far, which explains exactly why we are now seeing attacks on infrastructure that has nothing to do with the battlefield. We have to look at the recent interview on 60 Minutes with Pete Hegseth, the U.S. Secretary of Defense. This man sat there, and with the calm arrogance of an empire in decline, essentially threatened the civilian population of Iran. He wasn't talking about military targets. He was talking about making the Iranian people afraid to live.
CBS News has three sources telling us that Russia is providing intelligence to Iran on U.S. positions and movements. The average American might hear that and think that's a big and dangerous deal, is it?
Well, we're tracking everything. Our commanders are aware of everything. We have the best intelligence in the world. We're aware of who's talking to who, why they're talking to them, how accurate that information might be, how we factor that into our battle plans, our CENTCOM commander. So we know what's going on. And the president has an incredible knack at knowing how to mitigate those risks. And so the American people can rest assured their commander-in-chief is well aware of who's talking to who, and anything that shouldn't be happening, whether it's in public or back-channeled, is being confronted and confronted strongly.
The American people can therefore expect conversations with the Russians to stop this?
Well, President Trump, as people have seen, has a unique relationship with a lot of world leaders, where he can get things done that other presidents, certainly Joe Biden, never could have. And through direct conversation...
And we are already seeing the manifestation.
You see how his breathing changed? He lying. Trump don't know nothing. Hell, they didn't even have a plan going over there in Iran. But they know what they know who's talking to who though. Finish. They scared.
This is what would happen to your body if you ate mood sleep gummies every day. Day one, you take your
and through direct conversation.
And we are already seeing the manifestation of that threat. Reports are now confirmed that the U.S. and Israel, following that interview, have crossed a red line that even previous administrations were too smart to cross. They have attacked desalination plants in Iran. Iranian Foreign Minister Araghchi confirmed that the U.S. struck a desalination facility on Qeshm Island, an act he rightly described as a vile and desperate crime that cut off water supplies to 30 villages. Think about the depravity here. Desalination plants provide drinking water. They are the necessity for human life. Attacking them is a war crime, plain and simple. It is a crime against humanity. It is on the same level as using chemical weapons or bombing hospitals. And why are they doing it? Because the maximum pressure campaign of sanctions failed. Because the protests they funded didn't topple the government. Now they are trying to dehydrate a nation to force them to their knees. But here is where the short-sightedness of the American empire becomes absolutely hilarious, if it weren't so tragic for their own allies. If the U.S. thinks it can unilaterally attack water supplies and get away with it, they have another thing coming. As Foreign Minister Araghchi warned, opening this bad precedent by the U.S. will have serious consequences. Iran has now been given the green light, the moral and legal justification to respond in kind. And where would that hurt the most? Not in the mountains of Iran, but in the glittering artificial cities of the Persian Gulf. This brings me to the brilliant analysis we have been tracking from Professor Jiang Shuiqian. This is a man who has been eerily accurate in his predictions. He called Trump's win. He called the war with Iran. And he is sticking to his third prediction, the defeat of the United States and its proxies. He recently laid out the nightmare scenario for the Gulf monarchies that are supporting this war. He pointed out that desalination plants supply around 60% of the water in Gulf states. He gave a terrifyingly simple scenario. Imagine a relatively cheap Iranian drone hitting a desalination facility in a city like Riyadh. That city has 10 million people. Within 2 weeks, you are looking at a humanitarian catastrophe unlike anything the modern Middle East has ever seen. Water bottles become more valuable than gold. Societies collapse not from bombs, but from thirst.
So, something that people don't really talk about, but you need to understand, is the water issue in the GCC, in the Middle East, in Iran. All right? So, this is a map of the world. And if you are light blue, Brazil, Canada, you have nothing to worry about because you have a lot of water, a lot of fresh water, very little population. All right? So, 100% just means 100% water stress just means that you drink as much water as the environment produces. Okay? So you want to be below 100% to be sustainable. Ideally, you want to be at 10%. Okay? If it goes above 100%, it means that you are drinking more water, using more water than the environment actually produces. Okay? So you're putting stress on the environment. So 20% is really bad, right? Because you're using twice as much water as the environment produces. Guess what, guys? Look at the Middle East, okay? Egypt. 6,420%. Saudi Arabia, 883%. All right? Bahrain, almost 4,000%. Dubai, 17,000%. All right? So water is a huge issue. Again, it doesn't matter if Iran kills American soldiers, destroys American military. It doesn't have to do that. All it has to do is destroy the desalination plants, and then the GCC is destroyed, okay? But it's also true that Iran has water issues.
And this is why we are seeing this frantic, desperate shift to targeting civilian infrastructure by Israel and the U.S. They are running out of bullets. Seriously, look at the numbers. When Iran launched waves of drones and ballistic missiles, it wasn't just about the damage on the ground. It was about emptying the Israeli arsenal. Every time an Iron Dome or David's Sling missile is fired to intercept an Iranian projectile, it costs the Israeli treasury tens of thousands of dollars, while the Iranian drone costs a fraction of that. We are now getting reports indicating a critical and threatening reduction in ammunition to counter these attacks. The so-called best air defense in the world is being exhausted by a nation that knows how to build things cheap and effective. So, what do Netanyahu and Trump do when their missile defense runs low? They revert to the tactics of bullies. They bomb refineries. They bomb water plants. They try to starve a population because they can no longer fight the army. They are trying to bring people to the streets through sheer misery because they can't beat them on the battlefield. That is not strength. That is the flailing of a wounded animal. And the world is watching. The Haifa refinery is gone. It will take years to rebuild, if they can even find a country willing to send engineers into a war zone to rebuild it. The power is flickering in Tel Aviv. And in Tehran, despite the bombs, despite the threats from Pete Hegseth, the coffee shops are still open. That is the image of this war. One side, armed to the teeth by the West, targeting children's hospitals and water supplies. The other side, standing resilient, watching the fires burn in Haifa, and knowing that the energy gateway of the occupation has been shut forever. This war just changed, and the side that started it is now feeling the flames. We will keep tracking these developments. Subscribe and stay with us.
The one who died.
So there you have it. You see? Like, this stuff coming to America too. We read it in the scriptures with the water supply and all of that. Second Ezra 6. It's so much within that Second Ezra 6 and 24 with the springs and the fountains that stand still. That means the water supply cut off. Without the water, there's no lights. And without water, the economy hit. All right? And without water, businesses can't run. You know, with little to no water, no shipments. You see? All right? Without water, the power supply gone. Because they need hydropower, right? That's water to power these plants along with coal. So, hey, you know, these AI data centers, they could be sucking up with a little bit of water here. All right? That's in these major cities, man. All right? Everything on the outskirts can be no man's land. It's going to be dead. All right? So remember, as we read, hey, it should come upon Esau's own pavement, his own head. All right? Now let's close out with a similar scripture. It's pretty much the same, but I love the scripture though. Ecclesiastes chapter 27 and 24. The Wadi Haba Shema Shai. I have hated many things, but nothing like him. The him is Esau. For the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai will hate him. God don't hate, not my God. Yeah, you right, not your God. Our God, dude. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the one and only true living God. Okay, heaven and earth. He hates, and he hates Esau. All right? Hey, this like, it's major scriptures in the Bible that proves that that Yahweh Shema Shai hates. Proverbs 6, it's right here. Is that Malachi or Micah, the first chapter, I hated Esau. And also in, is that Hebrews? Romans, for Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. You see? God don't hate though, okay. It says, for the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai will hate him, Ecclesiastes 27 and 25, whoso casteth a stone on high, casteth it upon his own head, and the deceitful stroke shall make wounds. Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that setteth a trap shall be taken therein. He that worketh mischief, it shall fall upon him, and he shall not know from whence it cometh. You see? So this place gonna get hit, and Esau not gonna know where it's coming, the citizens. And Esau gonna cause a lot of this, but some of the stuff he's not gonna be in control. And it's gonna get far beyond out of his reach to where, hey, he's gonna lose control. Alright? So, hey, this place finished, man. Just so sit back, watch, pay attention, stay prayed up in the names of Yahweh Shema Shai, be circumspect, because everybody out here tweaking. Shalom.